Hi everybody, my name is Adina Greenbaum. I'm the Assistant Commissioner for Clinical Services and HIV and STD Prevention at Baltimore City Health Department, and I just want to thank all of you so much for coming here today and also being with us every day in all the work that we do, so thank you. And I also want to thank the health department staff who spend so much time and effort in planning today. We wouldn't have this without all the hard work that they did. So everybody who is part of my team, if you could stand up, especially if you're part of planning today, but everyone who's part of the team, everyone who's part of outreach and linkage, and all of the other teams, any partner services teams, clinical services, if you work at the health department, stand on up so we can say hello and thank you. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about the strategy that the health department is taking as it relates to HIV and HIV prevention, and talk a little bit about some of the programs that we have. So a newer philosophy that the health department has is a status neutral approach as it applies to HIV. And this is something that's been pioneered by the New York City Health Department and that we are adopting here. And being status neutral means that everybody has an HIV status. Their HIV status is either positive or negative. And that when somebody gets an HIV test, and if that test is positive, we do all of the things that we all have been talking about for a long time. It's important to link that person to care, for them to stay retained in that care, to have a good relationship with that provider, to feel mutual respect between themselves and that provider, to feel like they're being listened to by their medical community in order for them to reach their goals, and that if it's the right time for them and right in their life, that they maintain adherence to their medications, and that they do become, they do obtain a viral load of being undetectable, and we do everything we can to support that person getting there, and that's where the message of U equals U comes in. And that's something that we're very excited to continue working on. But we realize it's also important when somebody takes an HIV test, and if that HIV test is negative, that we don't stop there. That we don't stop and say, okay, we'll see you next time that you take an HIV test. That it's so important for that person to stay HIV negative. And we're really trying to expand our vision and our services and our philosophy to help that person stay HIV negative. What can we do to help support you in that? So sometimes what somebody might need are mental health services, or housing, or help with a substance abuse problem, or any number of things that's placing them at risk for HIV. So how do we as a health department start thinking about that and start providing those services? How can we work with you in the community and with our partners in order to build that system where it does become so rare, new HIV infections become even rarer? So that's what we mean by a status neutral approach. And for that, we think about PrEP. How do we increase access to PrEP, increase provider awareness about PrEP, increase the services around PrEP? And it's true that PrEP is a medication, PrEP is a pill, but we actually say at the health department, PrEP is not a pill, PrEP is a program. So part of the program is the actual pill of PrEP, but there's so much more that for a lot of people needs to go on around taking PrEP, and we're really thinking about how can we help make that happen. So we're excited about trying to grow this status neutral approach and work with all of our partners across the city in order to do that. What we do at the health department is we have a strong program in linkage to care. So if you know of anybody who is HIV positive and has not seen a provider, you or they or somebody else can call the health department and say, hey, this person needs some help getting to the right provider for them. And we'll talk to that person and find out, okay, where are you in your life right now? What kind of provider is right for you? We have relationships with many of the providers across the city and can help get them to the right provider for them, and are starting to increase our programming so that they stay with that provider. And how can we support them staying with them throughout their journey? We also have partner services at the health department. So for every new diagnosis of HIV is what happens throughout the country. For every time somebody is newly diagnosed with HIV, somebody from the health department comes out and first talks to them, makes sure they understand their diagnosis, makes sure that they're in care, and then has a conversation about who their partners have been, and can provide the service of anonymous notification of the partners, telling the partners, you could have been exposed to a sexually transmitted disease and should get tested, and takes the onus of that off of the person who's been newly diagnosed, and that's done anonymously. We also have clinics at the health department and provide clinical services, just as there are many other clinics throughout the city. We do the same things in terms of diagnosis and treatment of sexually transmitted diseases, including HIV and chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. We also provide dental care, PrEP, buprenorphine treatment for people who have who are struggling with substance abuse. Can help people get health insurance, and we have 2 clinics, one on the east side of the city and one on the west side of the city. How are we doing with time?
We're good.
Okay. And as part of our HIV prevention services, we are very excited to be increasing our presence in social media and online, and certainly welcome all of you to help us participate in that. Thank you.
I'm going to introduce Andrew McCarthy. He's the co-chair of Baltimore City HIV Planning Group and Commission. He's going to give the call of action and official launch of the U=U campaign website. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, everyone. My name's Andrew McCarty. I'm a community member. I don't work for anybody, so I can pretty much say what I want. And most of you that know me know I do. So this started about 1.5 years ago. We were at a UCHAPS meeting, and UCHAPS, Urban Coalition for HIV/AIDS Prevention Services, Baltimore City. Let's get around for UCHAPS. Kevin Jones, the executive director, is here. Baltimore City is a part of this because we're one of the 10 cities that is directly funded from the CDC. So that gives us the opportunity to work with the other jurisdictions from around the country and make things happen locally. This is what this did. We sat around the table with Aaron from New York, Patrick from Chicago, and we heard this U=U about 1.5 years ago. And we sat down in the lobby and we started writing. And we started figuring out what this meant to our jurisdictions, what this meant to our cities, what this could mean for HIV, period, the stigma buster. So we started that. I came back from that trip in Los Angeles, and I went in to see my doctor. And I looked at him, I said, "This new thing, have you heard about it?" And he was like, "I think I have." My doctor stands back there today. He came here today to, not only from Chase Brexton, but he's here today supporting me, standing with me, and standing with our communities. When we stand together, we can make a difference. This is a community-driven effort. This is, it's just something that, unless we do it, it's not gonna get done, like we know with most things. Unless community members do it, it doesn't get done with most things. Can I get an applause for that? Don't be afraid. I'm not. This is important to Baltimore and important to me just because I want to be able to live in my true self. I want to be able to just live without the fear and without the pressures. I'm going to go back to something that Tim stuck on because I think he and I read the same email last night. The key words, strong phrases, are HIV undetectable. Hear that again? HIV undetectable. Cannot pass it on, cannot transmit, no risk. Avoid the phrases extremely low risk. Makes it harder to transmit. These are all stigmatizers. Let's get rid of that. You know, I'm going to speak now to the HIV undetectable people in the room. We hear so many times, you're only as good as your last test. No, live in that victory. You worked hard to get to where you are today. Make it happen for yourself. Don't let anybody shame you because you happen to be HIV undetectable. You know? So you just gotta live in that victory and own it. We no longer need to live in the fear of somebody that's HIV undetectable, the fear of passing it on, the fear of it hurting our partner, the fear of not being able to date who we want to date and get into the activities that we want to get into because of the HIV virus. Viral load does not equate a person's value. Not everybody can be undetectable. There are medical reasons for people not being able to obtain that. There are other reasons why people are not able to obtain it, whether it be social, economic, or that. So not everybody can be undetectable, but your HIV status does not, your viral load does not, make your person's value. So we're going to move on to the main reason why I'm up here today. I want to thank everyone who sat around that table as a coalition, everyone who took my little dream as I come back from Los Angeles and I sat with my doctor and I did all of that. My little dream of this statement that we released last year, we read it, Peter looked at me and he was like, oh, we need to do something more with that. Here we are today. Dan, the folks at Chase Brexton stepped up to the plate 6 months ago and were like, we can do this. So, today, if Dan's ready, he wasn't. Genevieve Barrow. I'm just going to call you out. This woman, well, I got 2 seconds. This woman has jumped through hoops. She answers every email no matter what time I send them. And normally it's like at 6 o'clock in the morning. But Genevieve is she's hiding. If you know Genevieve, she's the driving force with us and making this happen for the city. What? Oh, so right now, if everyone would pick up their phone, go to u=umaryland.org. We have technical difficulties. So, let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. Yep. Yes. Do you have it up? Can I have? What? Okay, so we're going to take a little break right now. Again, because someone else who's here needs to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Mayor, Catherine Pugh.
How's everybody doing? Good. It's really, really good to be here. And as you well know, today we want to proclaim December 1st as, I need you to come up here and get my little proclamation. Come on up here. So we're just a little bit in advance. As you all know, December the 1st is World AIDS Day. And so this is in honor of that day becoming recognized worldwide. And I think it's really important. I'm not going to read the proclamation, but I want to say thank you. Thank you for all the work that you all are doing. This is so, so important. And you know, the days of stigmatizing AIDS is past. It should be. It may not be, but it should be. because the days of proclaiming that AIDS is only attributed to one community is past, and it's false. And so we should recognize that this is a disease, as we well know, that can be arrested and can be cured, and others have proven that. But it really is how we as a community take hold of this issue and others, and how we make sure that we're providing the best care for everyone. And that's why I'm so grateful to many of you who have stepped beyond what others are willing and should be doing. Jennifer Martin, who's the Deputy Commissioner at BCHD, Jeffrey Hitt, the Director of the Maryland Department of Health, Melanie Reese, Tim Horn, Andrew McCarthy, Devon Fleming, all of you all have just stepped out and said, this is something we really should be focusing in on. Because it really is about the health of our entire community. And so we can't separate one illness from another. We have to make sure that everyone has access, and that's something that we are praying that everybody understands, that we unite in this fight as it relates to HIV and AIDS, that we show our support for people who are living with HIV. And we commemorate, and we also commemorate those who have died from AIDS. Some because of shame, some because of neglect, some because people have not cared enough. And you know, it's like everybody knows somebody. It can strike anybody in your family, your friends. And so if we don't acknowledge what is real, then we don't pay attention to it. And we don't give the access that it should have. There are medications that are well prescribed that many of us are aware of. And following there are treatment plans with healthcare providers. And you know, that was a fight, but we got there. There are diseases that go undetected, and this one can go undetected for a long period of time. And so it behooves all of us, can we say that together? All of us to be tested, because you never know what the conditions might be that can cause you to be fallen by this disease. And so I say to you all that this is not just about sexual partners, but it is about protection and care of one's body. All of us, whatever our situations might be, should want to do that for ourselves. And again, it is about how we educate our communities. And it's not holding it to one population or age group. You know, when we talk about sex education, this has to be a part of it. How are we protecting ourselves? How are we caring for ourselves? How are we making sure that we're providing access to healthy opportunities? Healthy Baltimore 2020. The city's mayor's health policy agenda has the goal of reducing the incidences of HIV cases among disadvantaged communities by 40%. I want it to be 100%. We can get there, you all. But again, it's about how we work together. And I tell you that Maryland's integrated HIV plan 2017 to 2021, I think we're on target. A comprehensive coordinated response to HIV to Baltimore and Maryland, which presents a framework for HIV prevention and care with the goal that Maryland, not just Baltimore, will become a place where new HIV infections are rare. And when they do occur, every person will have unfettered access to high quality, life-extending care, free from stigma and free from discrimination. We can do this, you all, but we do it together. And it's how we communicate with each other, share information, and understand that our city, it is a city that welcomes, uplifts, cares, transfers information to all communities. So I wanted to applaud you all, and that's why I said, you know, I don't care what's going on, I gotta make this stop, because I believe in the work of our city. I believe in the organizations who show us that we can do this together. So let me again say thank you. Thank you for your work. I'm always proud of the quilts that we do. But thank you all for your work, and let's continue to work together. Let's make our Baltimore healthier, and let's make sure that we're providing the care. And let me tell you, there's still people in our communities, and it's not just AIDS or HIV. You know, one of the things that happens in so many communities is people don't want people to know that they have a disease. They don't want people to know that they're sick. And it's not just HIV and AIDS, it's cancers and all those kinds of things. And then what you do, you find yourself lingering so long that it can become too late. So early detection is important, and care is important. And I look at HIV and AIDS as every other disease in this country. You deserve quality care. God bless you all, and thank you for all your work.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. So, we're up and running. There's just a few things on the website if you've all been perusing it, or if you, I hope you were listening to the mayor. She's still here. We're gonna start at the top. Get the facts. If you click get the facts, I hope it comes up. I hope this all works out. I'm just saying, get the facts. I mean, it's just all listed down throughout. I mean, it's got the toolbars, get the facts. I'm talking like I know what a website is built on. I can barely find it. So the other thing that's at the bottom is join the movement. This is one of the things that we're asking you all to do today. Your organizations, your individual people, join the movement. By joining this, you enter, sign up, your emails are added to the list, you get the emails back and forth. So that, tools and events is the other one about the campaign. This gives you all of the facts about the campaign. There's a local, there's a local community, there's a local community that's doing it, but all of these are all of these listed are the organizations that have signed on to the statement now. So if you actually sign up, you can do your logo, all of that, that'll all be added. These are actually wonderful things that we've put on here. These are all printable materials. So if your organization wants flyers, wants posters, things like that, go to your copier and print them off and put them on your wall. It's easy as that. Where are we now? Tools and events. If you've got an event that's coming up, if you want information, put your event in. It will, we'll be able to monitor that. It'll go on the community board, so therefore everyone that goes to the website can see the event that's happening. There's our first event for this evening at Park West. This is where our stories, this is where you as community members come in. This is where you're a part of it. As we move forward into with what's going on, we'll be looking for personal stories that go on. We found with Baltimore Conversation that storytelling is one of the most important things and one of the healers of our community is to hear stories from other people. So this will also be an intricate part of what we're doing on the website. And you can share your story, put in your story. The staff will look at that and then contact you, that kind of thing. Social media, we have Twitter, we've got Instagram, Facebook. These are places that will always be promoting and doing what we do within the community. And get tested. There's with this, there's a map where it shows where you can get tested, where you can provide, where you can also acquire health care. There's also a map for the health care. And PrEP. Yep, getting PrEP, getting PEP'd. Follow your treatment plan. If you have any questions, there's always a panel. We've actually, if you have questions about U equals U and about any of the science or anything that goes along with that, we've put a panel of doctors together and clinicians that actually will be answering these emails. So it's not just you're getting a generic answer. You're actually getting an answer from a clinician that actually works within Baltimore City. About the campaign. I think we've got it, didn't we? I think we did it all. This This could not have happened without Dan and Becky Frank from Chase Brexton. Went to him 6 months ago and said, can you build me a website? And there it is. So it's not finished. It's going to be ever changing. This is something that this doesn't just end today. We now move into the movement. This has to be a community-driven movement. This has to be something that the community talks about. There's no big pharma behind this, so there's no big money behind this. This is community. This has to be done with us, and it begins today. Thank you all.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Mayor Pugh, for those great, kind words. So now we're going to move to the second to last thing on our agenda. We have a musical selection from Mr. Randy one more time, and here we are.
Everybody all right? So listen, real quick, bought a couple CDs with me if anybody's interested. I told my 5 kids at home, whatever we sell depends upon what you eat tonight. If we don't sell any, they don't eat. You know how that happens. Nevertheless, 2 things that I heard all day: love and community. I said earlier that it still takes a village, even as we become adults. So Genevieve, thank you for allowing me to come and share today. That was a song I was going to do, but Spirit spoke to me and said to do something different. I don't know what your spiritual belief may be, and I don't knock anybody. Spiritual belief, I believe in God, that's me. And so that's where I believe my strength comes from. And so I just want to simply leave this message with you. It's simply 6 words that God told me in the spite of the certain situations that I was dealing with. And that's all he said for me to do. Pray. You say it. Pray. Believe. And watch me work. That's all he told me. He said pray. Believe. And watch me work. So whatever it is that you believe in, pray, believe, and watch that spiritual manifestation take place in your life. I'm ready. Let me get a little bit more on the volume on this track. Y'all mind if I get comfortable? I already took my jacket off. Is that all right? Oh, yeah. All he told me to do was pray, believe, and watch me work. That's it. My God said pray and believe and watch me work. I hear the Lord say pray and believe, watch me work. Trust in the Lord. You ought to fall down on your knees and pray and watch him do every single thing he said. So if you pray and believe you shall receive. Hold on as long as you can. Your Father has a plan. I'm not a man that I should know. Jehovah Jireh. Trust and believe, even though it's hard to see it. Keep the faith and know that God is on the way. He's come to free you and redeem you. So watch the Lord work. He did it for Daniel, John, and the lion's den. The 3 Hebrew boys, when they decided not to bend, don't forget about David. When he fought Goliath, don't forget about Moses, down at the Red Sea. simply watch the Lord watch away. And watch me watch your word. Hallelujah. Thank you. God bless you. Pray, believe, and watch Him work. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Randy, for those powerful words once again. All right, everyone, it's about that time. We're almost done. So now, let me get my program. So I want to first thank you all for coming and sticking this out with us all and just doing this great, amazing work and really impacting and changing lives in Baltimore. This is amazing. There's no other place in the country that's doing the work that we're doing. The truth is, nobody can do what we do here for Baltimore. Second thing, I want to remind everyone to please RSVP and come tonight to the Baltimore Conversation Storytellers event, where we'll be focusing on 5 love stories and just finding out what really takes it to make it through with your significant other when dealing with health disparities and all the issues that come along with being in a relationship in the world today. Lastly, I would like to ask everybody, you have a t-shirt in your bag, right? Go inside your bag, pull it out real quick, and can you hold it up? We want to get a powerful picture with a photographer. So lastly, I want to give a couple of thank yous. I really want to thank the community partners, but without you, this event could not have been possible. We really appreciate you guys all being a part of this. I want to thank Ms. Rebecca Antofu, Kenny Betamose, myself, Adina C. I'm on the list, so I didn't want to say John mentioned Denny, and I was like myself. Jennifer Martin, Andrew, Tanya Myers, Ashley Price, Mona Rock, Deborah Ross, Kiana Sullivan, Aisha Elamine, Cassandra Stewart, and Carmi Washington Flood. I really appreciate it. Also, the other people here are volunteers: Curtis Whitaker, Deborah, Jennifer Thompson, Natalie Wilson, and Pamela White. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this event and making it successful. Everyone have a fabulous weekend. Be safe and happy World AIDS Day. Woo!